If you are a Bitcoin maxi, this live, it's not for you. And I need to do this disclaimer here, okay? I'm going to show you just something that I noticed yesterday, provide my analysis, and I'm not responsible for any broken screens, keyboards, mouses, whatever. It's just a full cold analysis, and that I'm going to show you today. Because something is happening, and you need to understand that something is happening. And it's awkward, and it's strange. And we are going to deep dive into it to understand what's going. Not before asking you to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know from where you are watching. We have people all over the world, and I love to know where they are watching. So let me know in the chat. Let me know what you think about Saylor right now, because we are going to talk about it. And I've talked about this before, but now I'm starting to connect the dots, and I really want to know your opinion and hope that everything is going well with the stream. And yesterday, indeed, it was a trap. Right, we had the jobs report. It came higher than expected, better than expected. Sorry, and you might think that's a good thing, and I need to tell you that's not good for what we want. Okay, that's not good for what we want, and I'm going to show you right now. So, yesterday we had the jobs report. I told that unless I told this yesterday, unless it was a trap. Everyone was super bearish, and indeed it was a trap. Okay, if you go to watch here, it came, I don't know. I think the only thing that dropped was the unemployment rate to just 0.1, but it dropped. So when you look at this, you see, yeah, I don't have a recession. Everything is okay here. Everything is Gucci, right? The problem is when you go here. We went from 19% chances of cutting rates to 6%. And we have CPI. We are going to have CPI. We need to know, how can I say this? Unless CPI comes lower, which I don't think it will, and I might be wrong here, unless CPI comes lower tomorrow, I don't see any chance of Powell cutting rates on March. Okay, if you ask me, should he cut rates? 100%. He has all the reasons to cut rates. Will he cut rates? We need a very, very lower CPI. We need CPI to really come lower so that he can cut rates. That's the only chance that I can see it here. So, yeah, just pay attention to this. Be aware of this. And, yeah, I'm going to talk about the main story here. Okay, I just want first to tell us where we are, and then we are going to deep dive on why I think there's something wrong with Saylor. Okay, it's nothing against Bitcoin. I don't have anything against Bitcoin. I have different opinions from a lot of people regarding Bitcoin. I always had, even before coming to YouTube. But yeah, we'll get to that. We'll go there. Just stay with me for a second. First, I want to tell you this. I've been telling you that the drop was strange, in my opinion. Something was not adding on, and I still stand by it. Okay, I know that I should say that we are in the bear market because of the 50% drop, whatever. It's not the first time I see a 50% drop and we recover, and I want more time to do my full analysis, okay? I'm okay with being wrong. I'm still accumulating on these prices, as I've told you. Fundamentals are there. I'm not worried. But you need to understand that more people are telling you the same, okay? And I'm not going to play the video because it's too big, but I really want you to pay attention to this, okay? Because I think it's important to understand what they are saying. And this is the CEO of Binance, and he's telling you institutions are still accumulating. They are still buying, okay? This is a video. I'm not going to play the video. It's too long, and I don't want to do it. But this is what we know that's happening, okay? We know this is happening. We know this is something that we are seeing. We can see it, right? That's the good part of crypto. We can see everything, unless it's on the Sachs. But regarding wallets, we can see it, right? We know when they are moving. We know when they are withdrawing, when they are depositing. So we know all of that. That's a good part of crypto. And we know the institutions are accumulating. They are not panicking, okay? And I want to bring more data regarding institutions. I need to verify the data. So probably tomorrow I'll get more on this. Because I want to verify it. I don't want to show you something that is not accurate. So I need to verify that. But then we had a major surprise. Okay, this is one of them that I'm going to show you now. Goldman Sachs, $1 billion Bitcoin, $1 billion Ethereum, 153 million XRP, and 108 millions of Solana. Okay, I'm not going to say that I agree or not with this distribution. This is what they have. Okay, so Goldman Sachs has crypto, has crypto holdings. They are holding crypto actively. Okay, how the heck is this true? What is true? Ask me. Tell me. So, and then this happened yesterday. Look here. BlackRock using Uni. And this is true, okay? BlackRock is going to offer DeFi trading on Uniswap. And they will buy Uniswap tokens. They haven't bought it yet. But they will buy Uniswap tokens. And I read the article. I'm not going to put the article here, but according to the Uniswap founder, this was like a year and a half of negotiations. They were talking about this, and then they came to a deal. So this is pretty cool. Okay, we are starting to see the biggest one, BlackRock and DeFi, and this is cool. I think so. And I want to show you the chart of Uni. Let me just here so that I can show you, because unfortunately it went up, but then it went lower again. Let me just show you. Yeah, so we had this major pump on Uni, and then it almost came back to where it was. So this was a good news. This was a good news, 100%. And this was a nice pump. I tried to trade this pump, then I got stopped out. Not the pump here when it came lower, of course. I'm done by green candles. I think it was around here. But yeah, institutions are here. You might not believe it. You might not see it. We all don't see the same things, but they are coming here and they are arriving. And now let's go to the main story, okay? And now I want to ask you one thing. Have you ever, because everyone has been on this situation, have you ever been in a situation where you are so confident about what you're talking about, then someone asks you something and you lose it all? You don't know the face you did it because you cannot see it. I'm going to show you the face you did on that situation. We always have been there. Like you are talking, confident, you are sure of what you are saying, and someone asks just a simple question. And then you lose your face. Your expression tells everything. And you don't know how you look, but I'm going to show you how you look. I'm going to show you this. Look at this. I really want you to pay attention to this, okay?
If Bitcoin falls 90% for the next 4 years, we'll refinance the debt.
Refinance where, Michael?
We'll just roll it forward. I mean, again.
But you think banks would lend to you at that point?
This is the face you did on that situation. That's the face Saylor is doing right now. When you are confident, but someone asks something that you never thought about it.
Yeah, because the volatility of Bitcoin is such that there's always going to be value. Look, you're at 68,000 right now. Literally has to fall to 8,000. Then we just refinance the debt. If you think it's going to zero, then we'll deal with that. But I don't think it's going to zero, and I don't think it's going to 8,000 either. But the credit risk is de minimis at this.
You need to look at the face that we asked the question. The guy is scared. Okay? And again, another thing here that you need to understand is like, when the answer is that, because Bitcoin volatility, let's listen again. You need to understand this, okay? You need to understand the answer that he gave.
You think banks would lend to you at that point?
Yeah, because the volatility of Bitcoin is such that there's always going to be.
Because of volatility. Imagine, yeah, of course the market is going to lend more money because of volatility. I can try to do that. I can try to go to my bank and say, look, loan me, I don't know, $500,000. I'm going to invest in Bitcoin. But why are you going to do it? Because volatility. That's the answer. Okay. For the first time, we saw we saw Saylor scared. I'm not saying he's scared. I think we saw it unscripted. He lost the script there because no one ever asked him what you are going to do if nobody's going to refinance you. We saw this for the first time. Maybe scare is not the accurate term, but he went unscripted because he has a script. We know he does. He knows he always says the same. But here, look at this. This is someone that was caught off guard, okay? And now I wanted to show you this. Maybe some of you don't remember, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate because of this, but I'm okay with this. And I want to tell you this. I want to show you this. I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm just going to show you this. And I want to know if you remember this. First, it's true. Second, it's almost a year from now. And let me know what you think. You want me to play it again? Who remembers when Jack posted this on Nostr? I can leave it on loop if you want. What do you think this means? This was so cryptic at the time. So cryptic at the time. And now I'm telling, look, first, I'm not with I know some people are already saying that Saylor bought XRP. I'm not on that, okay? I think Saylor is all in on Bitcoin. But really, I do believe, and I said this in the past, I don't know if it's going to be just Bitcoin. I don't think that's going to be the case. And I think someone knows more than we know. And this was a year ago. And now we are starting to see the decline on prices. We saw that for the first time, Saylor is, let's say, underwater. Okay, it's not that much, but it's kind of underwater, below average costing price. And now, this is when we start to connect the dots. Okay, and just for you to be aware, I'm the person that always said, I like Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the first. But you need to remember that Napster was the first, and today nobody uses Napster. They use Spotify. Okay, I've always said this. And I always got a lot of hate because of this, but I'm a tech guy. I like new tech. I like new things. Okay, so again, I'm not trying to dismiss Bitcoin role. It was the first. I'm not saying Bitcoin is going to zero. I don't think it's going to zero. I'm just connecting the dots what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing Saylor, which is a major liability for the industry. Major liability for the industry. For the first time, going off script. And I do believe it was uncomfortable. I'm not going to say scared, but uncomfortable with the question. Because nobody asked that question, at least publicly. Okay? Then I connected the dots that Jack a year ago tweeted this. And I want to know what you think that video symbolizes, because it was really cryptic at the time. And then we had this, okay? And we need to understand this, okay? We need to understand where we are right now. And yeah, let's check this. This is the ex-CTO of Ripple, David Schwartz. And he thinks Bitcoin is largely a technological dead hand for the same reason the dollar is. Technology just doesn't seem to matter all that much to its success, at least not the blockchain layer. I'm just connecting the dots here, okay? Even Jack, that posted that video, said, if Bitcoin is seen as just a store of value, it failed. Jack believes that Bitcoin should be for payments, for transactions, not to store. If someone is going to buy and hold, Bitcoin failed, okay? But there's something that we need to understand. And look, I started to get a lot of hit immediately. In English, in Portuguese, a lot of that. So, I'm not saying Bitcoin is going to zero. I'm not saying that, okay? What I'm saying, and just trying for you to try to understand where we are from a technology point. Okay, if you want to send money to the other side of the world, it's faster and cheaper right now on Ethereum, on Solana, on the XRPL than it is on Bitcoin. Okay, So for means of payment, nah. For a store of value, the digital gold thing might be, but then it failed. I agree, it's not for payments. It's not for payments. And you need to understand this, okay? How can I do? I'm trying not to be too dramatic about this and not being misinterpreted here, but I think the scarcity and supply doesn't hold up anymore. It doesn't hold up anymore, okay? And even the quantum threat, which is a big one, and I think I don't have that tweet to show you here, but that's the big one, and we need everyone to be in accordance with an update to avoid the quantum threat. I think Ren already did a video about this. And this is something that you need to be aware. Okay, this is why I say you need to be diversified. I'm not a Bitcoin maxi, I'm not an XRP maxi. I'm a maxi of making money. We never know what's going to happen. We never know. And there might be something with Bitcoin that we are not aware. Look at what happened with the Epstein files. No one knew. Not no one knew, there was some suspicions, but there was never confirmations. And now there's a cloud around the blockstream and the Bitcoin core. There's this cloud here. You have people, and I show you this, saying, I don't know if it was Satoshi, but even if it was, who cares? Imagine that we have confirmation. Now, I'm not telling you, again, that Bitcoin is going to zero or whatever. What I'm telling you is that you need to diversify your portfolio and don't be all in just one asset. Because what you are seeing here, it's kind of, how can I say this? If we go after Saylor, or if we start to dump to those levels, I do believe Saylor will need to sell. And if Saylor starts to sell, that's a huge quantity of supply that's going to hit the market. And then the store of value narrative is going off, and no one is using it for payments. And then you start to question, why do I need Bitcoin? Why do I need Bitcoin? This is just facts, okay? I'm not making anything up. This is just facts. If now we start to see people selling, we go lower to seller prices or whatever, and you start to sell, why should I have Bitcoin if I don't use it for payments? Okay, this is just for you to tell you, be diversified. We are starting to see some worry things about Bitcoin itself. Okay, we saw it on the Epstein files that they didn't like XLM, they didn't like XRP, and a few others. Okay, so pay attention to this. Be diversified. Be careful with this. And I'm not going to be too dramatic here because I don't want to get a lot of hit because I know I'm going to get anyway. So that's going to happen. But just pay attention to what people are telling you. Okay? Avoid the maxis. Avoid the max. Look, a lot of people telling you that altcoins are not going anywhere, and you have Goldman Sachs holding crypto, and you have at least BlackRock starting to or will buy some Uni. Okay? The maximalism, whatever it is, it's crypto, stocks, football or soccer, I don't know where you live, it's always bad. Always. Watches also. It's always bad. Be diversified. That's how I was cool with the crypto now dropping, because I was diversified in stocks and precious metals. So, connect the dots. I'm not telling you to buy or sell anything. What I'm telling you is that something feels strange right now. I feel that something knows more than we know. And I think you should be paying attention to that. But this is just me, okay? This is just my opinion. And that, I already said this in the past, I think Saylor needs to diversify. At some point, if he wants to survive, he will need to invest in other projects. And one of them, I don't care if you like or not XRP, I look at partnerships. And they are partnering with everyone. So that's up to you. Do whatever you want with this information. Do not buy or sell anything, because I'm telling you, I just connect the dots and the data and provide my opinion. Okay? Easy as this. Now, before moving to the charts, I want to tell you this. I want to show you this because this is pretty cool. And I've been telling you for, I can say weeks now, right? Now, let's say days. I don't think it's weeks. I think this is just my second week here. Did you get your CAS card? Did you went here and get your CAS card? Oh, it's here on the YouTube description. Did you? Because now you can ask for a 𝗕𝗅𝗏 card. You can ask for it. I've been screaming, get a CAS card. I think I have mine here. It's here. It's always with me, on Apple Pay or with me. I have it here. And I want to offer this to one of you. I will wait till Monday next week. And I want to offer 1x card to one of you. You just need to register with my link. And then you go ask for the 𝗕𝗅𝗏. And then you can get a 𝗕𝗅𝗏 penguin card. I don't know. It's up to you. I would like to have I'd love to have the chance to be an early customer of Revolut, for example. And do with this information whatever you want, but yeah, I would love to have been able to be an early customer of Revolut. Okay, so yeah, I do believe they are going to pull a Revolut, but this is just me. Okay, this is just me. So let's go at some charts. I know you want to look at some charts. I know you want to look at. Let's see how we are today. So we haven't hit my target yet. You know, I have a target here around 60 to 200, something like around this area here. We haven't been here yet, but I think we need to start to pay some attention. And let me just remove this here. This from the last stream. Here. And yeah, I think this will be the big test here. If we can clear 69, maybe we can look higher. I'm still waiting for a swap of the lows, and I would love to see the swap of the lows. Okay, I would like to see it being swept, and yeah, that's something I would like to see it. But we don't always get what we want. So right now, I would be careful. Okay, we are going to get some data is not that relevant, but it's always something that we need to pay attention. But yeah, I'm still expecting that we come lower. Okay, I know some people are expecting way lower. Dimitri, I got the CAS card with your link. Thank you, Lenzen. You are always here. I appreciate you being always here. Thank you. And always on my X too. You should follow me on X. It's here. It's easy. My handle is 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗵. Cannot be the easiest one. We have the link below, and just go and 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗵, not 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗵. Although I'm thinking on changing it. But yeah, for now it's 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗵. I might change in the future if silver keeps going up. So like I said, we might come lower. I want to come lower. I think it will be a good sweep, and then we can target higher levels. If we don't do this, then I think we might go higher and then start to think going lower. But this is just me, okay? This is just me. But yeah, and I will not trade right now. I don't like to trade between sessions. And I told you that we are going to have at least 2 live streams in a different time slot, so that you can trade. And right now, that's where I don't feel comfortable trading like right now. Okay, on this session, it goes against everything that I believe. I do have this short here. This was from a live session yesterday inside my community. That's coming to English soon also. And I'm going to keep it, to be honest. This is a big resistance for Ethereum. And I want to see if it goes there and then it rejects. If it does, it will be an awesome trade. Okay, so here's the opening and playing going up. Yeah, if it goes up, not too much. If not, they'll call it a recession. But in a way that can we can have rate cuts. So like I was saying, I have this short here around 2020, 2022. It's not an exact number. On resistance, and I'm going to keep it because I do believe that we might see an initial rejection here, unless we have some crazy data that we just shot through this, which I don't care at the moment, to be honest. I don't care about it, but I do believe this is a big one, and we might try to flip it, but nah, I think we're going to reject, to be honest. But it's just my opinion, okay? Just my opinion here. Regarding Solana, this was another trade, so we are going to see some long positions here. Regarding Solana, right now, it's at support, and if the time is not the best one, so Probably I'm going to close this trade when I end the stream. Okay, when I end the stream, probably I'm going to close this trade. But yeah, Solana might start to recover. It should recover. I think we saw this yesterday, where it should recover, right? This is a major support. So let's see if Solana can help us today, and we can see some green on the market, so we can do some green therapy. Since in Portugal we cannot do sun therapy because it doesn't stop rain, at least some green therapy would be good. Another one this one front ran me, and I've been saying this, and I'll be saying this all the time that I need to say is that if you want to scalp and if you like to scalp, look at Convex, CVX. Okay, this is an amazing one to scalp. It's awesome to scalp. It has so much volatility that you should scalp this. Okay? If you like to scalp, you should go to Bluffen and scalp Convex because it's an amazing one to scalp. You can, and it's a chart so easy to read usually. I'm not going to talk about Moving. That's meme coins. I think it was who was talking about Fartcoin. Yeah, look, the only gas I talk about here is natural gas. If you want to go long on natural gas, I think that's smart. But I'm not going to talk about Fartcoin or Moving. I don't like meme coins. Okay, only AVAX. AVAX is a good meme coin. It's a good one. But like I said, look, this, you should look at Convex. Okay, I think this is a good one. And also XLM. This was a trade from yesterday also. Pay attention to the XLM. Now I think it might reject and come lower. It actually might be a good short, to be honest. This might actually be a good short. I think so. I think XLM might be a good short. Dogecoin is the only meme coin worth. Yeah, I have a lot of Doge. I have a theory about Doge, and I sent a message like a year ago saying what my theory was. And I think that, I think I'm going to short this. And I think that Dogecoin is going to be used. And I have the message to prove it that I talk about it. So, yeah, I think I will take this short. Oh, let me see. Something like this. Yeah, I will take this one. Yeah, I think so. With a tight stop loss. Don't go crazy here because we can have news and whatever. Stop hunts, that might happen. So, yeah, I would have just a small stop loss. Like really small. Something like this. Even smaller. Just if you get stopped, it doesn't affect anything. Yeah, I think this might happen, okay? The stop loss might be too close and get stopped, but yeah. After this trade here, I can take the risk with here. So this was an awesome one. Again, I've said this the other day when I left, kind of in a hurry. But you need to see this here. You need to check this, okay? You need to see Bitcoin dominance. And I think you need to start really to pay attention to this, okay? Because if it starts rejecting here and starts dropping, I know your favorite bear might tell you that you are in a bear market, and I cannot talk about specific bears here, but yeah, I would pay attention to Bitcoin dominance right now, okay? And another token I would pay attention, another chart, it's this one. We are here to make money, right? We are here to make money. And I would pay attention to this chart here. And I think you understand why I'm telling you to pay attention to this chart here. I think it's easy to understand. I have something here. I think you can understand. No, we didn't. Why I'm telling you to pay attention to this here. Okay? It's not that hard to understand. So I was having that discussion this morning about that someone is saying XRP $2,000 all in, and I was having this discussion today, and I was like this. If I go to the channel and I say XRP to $1,000, my engagement will go through the roof because 50% will disagree with me and call me a lunatic, and another 50% will agree with me in saying that I'm seeing the hype around XRP. Okay? This is I have literally had this discussion today. If I go here and say XRP to $1,000, which I don't believe in, okay? 50% will agree and 50% will disagree. So, but look, I'm a data guy. I like to have my feet on the ground. I don't believe XRP is going to hit $1,000 unless something really crazy happened. I don't believe in that. And honestly, I do believe it's going to go higher. I do believe it's going to surprise a lot of people, but I don't think $1,000 will ever happen. But I'm going to tell you this. This is the only case where I don't care of being wrong. Oh, I want to be wrong on this. And yeah, someone can tell me, see, we hit $1,000, and I will be like, yeah, you're right. And with the biggest smile on my face because $1,000 in my bag. You know, but that's, I'm a realistic guy. I'm not going here. I don't sell bullshit, okay? I only sell what I believe and with data. So I'm never going to tell you that XRP is going to hit $1,000, $100. That's not going to happen, okay? With me, that's not, I might be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong here, but my XRP targets have been and always will be in the first one, $10, best case scenario, $20, maybe 30. But even if we start to go above $10, when we get to 20 or 30, if we get there, it should be just a moonbag, okay? I'm not the guy that thinks that dollar is going, I don't know, to get bust. It might drop like it always drops as a cycle, but the fiat currency is going to be, they are going to disappear. That's the part that I'm not, okay? I'm here to make money. And if XRP goes to $10, or I can tell you more, if XRP starts to climb again, when it starts on the way up to $10, I'll be selling. I have a target to sell a lot of $10 if we get there. And if everything that goes higher, I'll be selling my moonbag. Okay, and then there's that moonbag that I'll never sell. Like the OGs did with Bitcoin. Okay, they never sold, and today, Bitcoin, now, not now, it's at 68, but it was at 126. Okay, so I always keep a moonbag that I never sell unless it goes to, I don't know, XRP to $1,000. Then I will unload my moonbag of XRP. Okay, tell me if this makes sense to you. Okay, and tell me also if you understand what I was trying to tell you about Saylor. I think there's something about Saylor that we don't know. I think for the first time he was unscripted. He was caught live, unscripted, and he is not used to that. Okay, because someone, I think for the first time, someone asked a really tough question. What if they don't finance you? And this, just to tell you that you should think about your positions. Maximalism is bad in anywhere, and you are here to make money. So if you have to make money, you look at that face, and you get worried because it's a liability for the market. And if in any case we start to decouple from Bitcoin, which I believe we should, just to be clear, I believe the market should decouple from Bitcoin. Okay, I think it should. It doesn't make any sense still being decoupled. It's like a divorce, right? You suffer at the beginning, but then the light will shine. You'll be more happier if you wanted a divorce, right? So in case we start to decouple, something happens, we are going to suffer, but we should then be more happier after decoupling, okay? Because no more OGs will dump on us, no more that stuff that's going to affect the market. So I don't know if that divorce is going to happen, but if it does, just be ready for it. Have a plan.